All right, hello everybody. This is the Bachelor Pad. We've got the same gentleman who was back last night. This guy,
This guy.
Sam. Day before taking off to Florida, I asked an interesting question when you came in earlier. I was like, "Hey, so did you see all that stuff going on in Virginia and whatever? What stuff? What's happening?" Right? Here's one thing that Bachelor Pad, staying informed and doing whatever. Facebook's is a great outlet for having news that goes through, right? Sometimes you have to look through and see what's real news and real news, fake news. Hate to use the Trump fake news, but looking through to see just what's going on. And I asked many people that came through today, right? The two chickies that hang out here and whatever. I do love how being 19, 20 years old or whatever, and just kind of not a care in the world or worldview or whatever what's going on. Like, it is kind of weird to catch stuff a lot later than it actually happens, right? Like, that's kind of a big deal. We scoured over, just some of the news, right? Seems kind of random. If that happened here, you'd be like, oh my God, did you see in Belleville today, neo-Nazis held a rally and did whatever, and then, somebody drove a car through the crowd, and the same stuff that you see on some of the world news stuff that goes on in Paris and other places, but kind of random, right? That was nice to spring the news on you a little while ago.
Yeah, I mean, shit, at least when did this happen? When,
either today or today, I believe.
it must have been today.
Yeah, I believe it was today.
Yeah, I mean, I was out and about, kind of busy, whatnot, so it wasn't like I was sitting at home in front of my TV or whatever.
And neither was I.
Well, I mean, you're sitting here.
I'm sitting here, and I have the Facebook.
Scrolling through your phone, and I'm dealing with shenanigans on my car, so whole deal, I guess, is, well...
Yeah, I guess not having I don't know. I mean, I'm so attached to social media for business and for other things that I'm weird and nosy, right? I want to know what's going on. Like, in the same token, some people be like, oh my God, it's, 3 people died and 19 were injured. Kind of a bad deal, right? I get it. It was weird because we had the conversation to hear about social injustice. My buddy Lavelle Van Horn was in. He's actually thinking of coming in and doing a Jake and Friends episode or whatever. Good dude. I worked with him at Ford Motor Company. He's a DJ. He started his own business as a massage therapist. He played college football for Western. Played ball in the European League or whatever, so athlete, right? He's a specimen and a good headsy dude, right? Good friend of mine. But we talked about it, and and I'm like, we went into any of these groups, and Black Lives Matter, 7 or 8 people died in Detroit, just random shootings, right? Even for me, if that was part of my culture, I was a Detroiter and lived there and it was my neighborhood, how are people not up in arms? But in inner cities and in urban settings, they have that snitches get stitches, and you don't tell, nobody talks to the police. But at some point, some of that shit has to go to the wayside. Enough. Dude, if you're doing bad stuff, it's almost like a call for Batman. We need Batman, right? What I'm getting this increasingly weird thing after being in Chicago a month or 2 ago and looking at all the killings, and obviously there's a ton of shootings and a ton of shenanigans going on there, and here in Detroit, 14 and 17-year-old siblings were out in the front yard and somebody drove by and just shot them.
Yeah, the only problem is, in Detroit, bright light in the air, you wouldn't see the bat signal. It'd just be, silhouette of a crackhead, but...
Wow. I don't know. Crack. When's the last time we heard of somebody having a problem with crack? I think the crackhead is now the heroin or pill head, right? Is that not kind of gone by the wayside? When's the last time you went, oh my God, dude, you guys seen Jim in a while? I heard he's a crackhead. I haven't met a genuine or seen a genuine Dave Chappelle,
scratching myself.
Crackhead in a while. You are kind of itchy.
Dealing with my rash deal.
Yeah, good job there, Cracky McCrackovich.
Hey, it's what happens when, you do extensive yard work in what appears to be a jungle.
Oh, yeah. No, dude, poison oak. My dog kept going out and getting in poison oak. And I was like, poison ivy. I'm not a fucking woodsman, right? I don't know. Oh, do you see the leaf with the 3 little things? I'm like, I thought that was marijuana. Don't smoke it. You'll, have eyes from the inside.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
While I'm standing in the bush, just, taking a leak.
Yeah, no, dude, I would run myself into walls or whatever, dude. Look like I was possessed. Dude, you have a fair amount of good rash trashiness. My dog would go out and get in the bushes and run around and then come back and like rub his fur on me. So it wasn't like a full-fledged like, oh, you've got whatever. It was just a little bit of annoyance, and it annoyed the balls out of me for days.
So you can only imagine what I've been dealing with.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
It's everywhere.
I don't know how you're dealing with it. I didn't even know. I thought you were on the crack.
See?
I thought you needed a hit. Well,
there it is.
Or the H. I guess we shouldn't make fun about all that, but yeah, it's. I mean, then again, I don't understand people that are that downer, downer based and always taking stuff like, dude, get a grip on something. Like, I want to chill too, but I've got a bunch of crazy shit going on in my head that won't let me. Even if I did tranquilize myself and whatever, I don't know if it would do. But
well, I don't know. I don't think there's any slowing you down.
Yeah, no, dude, I was up until 4 something in the morning last night. And then I did oversleep today. When I did finally crash out, I crashed. But yeah, I don't know. Jakey doesn't do the drugs. I don't know. I mean, I tried every one of them. I tried, and just the one that you're supposed to, that we were just making fun of or whatever. I tried the other one. I tried the Dave Chappelle, right?
Yeah.
I tried the Chappelle
Allegedly.
and went, yep, well, allegedly. It was all for science. But yeah, I don't know, kind of weird. But also in the news, I mean, the white supremacist stuff. When I was talking to my buddy Lavelle, right? We digress. When I was talking to him, and I went, look, this and that in inner cities, and but the one thing that and it was weird because it's Lavelle, myself, a crazy dude who came in, nice guy, but like just atypical country hillbilly, like redneck, and even Lavelle like started talking quieter or whatever, and then this guy jumped in. And what's funny is you can never judge. And you look at the people that were protesting the rally of the neo-Nazis today, and he was like, dude, what were the color of the people that were protesting it? And I was like, it was white people, right? Like, this is not right and whatever. So it was literally, I mean, granted, I'm sure there were some other minorities in there, but it was predominantly white people protesting the neo-Nazis and whatever, right? Like, not cool with what they were doing. But then again, we live in a culture to where if you're protesting and freedom of speech, and we I don't know how much you read, but I kind of skimmed through, because it is a question, right, where the First Amendment and freedom of speech is constantly, people are trying to finagle it. Like, what is hate speech? You can't yell fire in a crowded thing that would harm people, and you can't incite X, Y, and Z. But if you have a differing view, and even if it's not, it's still technically protected, right? It's weird. You may not like it, but that's the whole point. Like, some people, you can't tell everybody what to like or who to like and whatever. That's why you can get a like a permit to go and have a march, but other people are allowed to protest your march. And then when those two people clash, somebody driven through the crowd, and we don't know. I mean, I think everyone's assuming, right? Allegedly, it was probably one of the, the neo-Nazi, white supremacists that ran through the people that were protesting, whatever. But they were clashing and fighting. You can't have people that have such strong, viewpoints and ideals on one side or the other. Now, I personally disagree with it. I'm not a racist man. I don't agree with fucking neo-Nazi and white patriots and nationalists and whatever. Dude, call yourself what you are, right? It's shenanigans, and I hate this world we live in. I know, making the joke about Batman and Gotham City and whatever, the fucking world sucks. Like, this is a horrible place.
Yeah.
Now, everyone who's like, oh, you don't want to have kids? Or why don't you have kids? To put them in this fucking weird quagmire, jacked up world that we live in?
It's like, shit, I'm still over here trying to figure it out, and you're asking me if I want to try to teach somebody else how to figure it out?
Yeah.
Like, fuck, I don't know what I'm doing.
And no matter what you figure out and what you do, you're put out here in this, like your dad had to talk with you today, right? Like, oh, you're getting ready to go to Florida and do some stuff. But, be careful. Don't talk to strangers. Don't do it. You're like, Dad, I've seen the movies. I know whatever. I know how to not get abducted and whatever. But that's what all the people in the movies thought also.
Of course, like, I'm jokingly and mainly just trying to make everybody in the room laugh. It's like, well, I mean, still, honestly, it's like, I know not to bum a cab ride, hate to use the exact situation from the movie I was talking about, but no, not to bum a cab ride with a man I've never met, because it's like, yeah, then he's going to know where you live and where you're staying and whatnot. And of course, you're going to be with like 3 other dudes that have military experience and look out for each other and whatnot. But
you just happen to be, what are you, 20? Almost 21?
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, yes, when you're moving around and whatever, don't go in weird areas that And as you can tell by the screen, I'm a little bit bigger of a fella than you, right?
Little bit.
So I'm pretty good wherever I go, right? Most people don't go, let's take that one. Well, fuck, if we even want to keep him alive and keep him feeding him properly and doing whatever, we're not going to snatch that one and put him in the back of a van. And I might be able to tussle a bit, right? So they're like, no, he seems...
I look like a 12-year-old, and you could probably just hand me a head of lettuce, and I'll survive.
There you go, yeah, the rabbit food. But there is things. There was a thing in New Orleans where it was on video, and it was probably like a month or two ago. Two guys about your size, whatever, 2021, and they, boom, I think they were going down to it, either going to an ATM or looking for an ATM, but they veered off somewhere off of downtown New Orleans, like off of whatever the major road is. I forget the name of the street. Whatever street in New Orleans where they do all the Mardi Gras stuff, and it wasn't even Mardi Gras, and they ZZZ, and they're just walking and whatever. Three dudes were following them, and they ran up and mugged them, and smacked them, hit them, beat them pretty violently, robbed them, took their stuff, took whatever, and down the road they went, right? So yes, wandering down streets you don't know, staying in, there's danger lurking in any big city, right? The streets are watching, there's stuff going on. So the dad was good and right in giving you that advice. The other thing would be, eat a little bit more, start picking up some weights. People will not try and abduct you, right? Well, the only other bad side is you're going to get other dudes who are about your size who go, you're not that big, you're not that tough. I bet you I can do whatever. And then you get people who want to fight you for no apparent reason. They're not trying to abduct you. They just want to punch you in the head a few times.
PSA, get buff and you won't be fucked with.
You won't be abducted. You will, believe me, it never stops, bro. It never stops. But, yeah, a little.
I'm kidnap proof.
That is right. Now look, we went through a little bit of news and current events, right? So we got that. But then here's one of my thought processes on what goes on, locally, right? This is in the United States, and it's whatever, and people. There were some horrible things about Judaism and Jews written on signs, and I read some posts that, you do know that Jesus was a Jew, right? He was Jewish, but you claim to be a Christian and whatever. Again, another thing of my anti-religion, that half the people that claim to be what they are and
they don't
even know they're not bright people, right? So then you begin to factor it down even farther, right? You begin to bracket it out. You're not that intelligent, right? You socioeconomics, you came from a bad area, whatever. Now what's bad is when it's a really smart dude from a really good area who has a great education, but you generally don't see them at the neo-Nazi rally, right? Or at, rallies that are deemed to be hate speech and whatever, right? It's normally the, oh, God dang it, Jesus said, where? I've read the book. Have you read the book? I've read the book. I disagree with the book. I think it's shenanigans. If Santa Claus had a book, it would be a lot like that, except Santa Claus would be Jesus and nobody nailed him to anything, and he still flew around on his magic carpet and gave up. Isn't that how it goes? No? I don't know. Maybe I smushed a couple together. But, if you haven't noticed, I'm a little bit anti-religion, right? I think it's all stupid. It's where a majority of this dumb stuff stems from. But just in other news, in Kenya, at least 24 people are killed in a post-election violence in Kenya, right? So 24 people over an election, right? Boom, killed there. There's a lot of this going on around the world, and it always has and it always will. It's just we focus on this because it is close to us. Here. Right. But people are dying everywhere. People are, there's injustice. There's a ton of stuff. And when we were having these conversations with people in the shops earlier, it was funny because my buddy, I went, where's Black Lives Matter with this when 7 people died in Detroit? Every time there's a shooting and whatever, and it's your, it's your community and it's your culture that, that is feeling the effects of this. Why aren't people walking, look, no more death, stop killing each other. And I went back to old, rap and hip hop from the 80s and 90s with, self-destruction and whatever, where there were movements where people were coming out in droves to say stop it, and it wasn't even a smidgen as violent as it is now. And I guess that's why they were, we tried it, we made a couple songs, nobody cares. I'm gonna fucking make some hit songs and quit doing those charity songs and fucking buy a house in a nice area where nobody shoots you. At least they say that until they get harassed by fucking white cops, driving around in Beverly Hills, right? So there's no way to escape it. It's just, it's shenanigans. But bachelor pad story time with weird roommate stuff. You said you had some stuff to go into.
Well, the whole crazy roommate. Well, I can't really say crazy roommate because I think we were all equally on the insanity scale. But more just a crazy situation and rather unfortunate on how where we all ended up. Endgame. Where's a good place to start with this one?
Remember, try and make it funny. Those magic people out there in the clouds.
Yeah, and, well, I'll try to fit a few jokes in, but I'm afraid it's not that, hilarious of a story. It's not like your little naked man from last night.
And I've got one on top of it of rummaging through your buddy's room and finding porn. But
on top of my story or on top of the naked man?
Sleep on your back or I will, right? There you go. Yeah, I mean, roommate situation stuff is wacky, right? I did a lot of bitching about mine because he's a horrible person, right?
Right.
And it's not a roommate situation. It's, we co-own crap. So
business partner.
Yeah, what are you going to do, right? It's like being here and having shitty neighbors, i.e., who's next to me on both sides.
Killing cats and whatnot.
Yeah.
You can take the implication. But anyway, so I guess the best place to start with this is, yes, I'm a young guy. So where was I?
Shit. Huh? Yeah, you got young guy shit. So give us some young guy shit.
Some young guy shit. So poke fun as you will because, I'm a still millennial trying to figure his shit out. But I guess the starting point is, around the time I was, getting out of high school. Everybody's still scrambling, trying to figure out their shit, what they're going to do afterward. And me, I'm just sitting there like, fuck, I don't really have any existentially awesome plans, so I ain't going to go to college. And especially the thought process was, I just got done with like 12, 13 years of school that was fucking forced down my throat, a bunch of shit that was unnecessary to learn. I mean, I still haven't used fucking, like, intense algebra. I don't know about you, but useless information. So it's like I didn't really want to go back to that. I didn't want to go back and just sit in a lecture hall listening to some fucking professor drone on about, like, I don't know, whatever the fuck it is professors drone on about. You get my meaning. You don't know because it's equally as boring to everyone else.
And a lot of times it's like 13th grade, right? It's redundant. The only good thing about college, right? And the only good thing, and in the world we live in, all the information is inside this fucking magic box, right? Yeah. If you want to learn and study something that you care about, but there is something to be a little bit well-rounded. If we were here and I had some some expressionism art, and you knew it was expressionism, right? You may not need to know everything about it. Be like, oh, that's crazy. You dig expressionism? No shit, you know expressionism. Yeah, I already
no fucking clue what you're talking about.
Just different forms of art as it goes through. Periods in time.
The more wacky version.
And you've got realism, you've got this, you've got that, and it goes through and even music. Like, dude, one of the better people chiming in on this. One of the better classes that I took was art and music appreciation, right? When you look at Beethoven and how he did and what nobody was doing anything even remotely close to it, and Chopin and Mozart and Beethoven and whatever, you're just like, what the fuck? Like, this is crazy. Like all this old, like who listens to that? But when you listen to it and you study it and whatever, it does expand your mind, right? You use critical thinking and other avenues to where you use your mind in a different manner. Right. So college is good for that and the socialization of it. But I understand why my advice when I talk to you've been in here when I talk to people, what are you doing with your life? The one thing I do like about you and your crew or the people that you do go to school with, it's very laser pointed, right?
Yeah, and brings me to the very first point of this whole thing. It started out, sitting in auto shop, and these guys came in, and they did their little spiel on, what they were all about, what they were teaching, and, well, it was aviation maintenance, if you will. So, wasn't studying to be a pilot or anything. I'm fucking turning wrenches here, might as well go do it as a profession. Well, I mean, it sort of clicked with me. It was something I was interested in, and, there's so many different branches of where you can go in aviation. Like, you're fucking tailor, or you make furniture or whatever, you can go into upholstery, or if you're good with working with metals and stuff like that, you can go do sheet metal, whatnot. And I'm not here to, just try to fucking sell the whole aviation maintenance career to everybody listening.
Well, they've got wind power and, a bunch of other stuff.
But yes, they do have the other programs.
And one of the guys, the dude who was in here that you were talking to,
yeah.
he actually has a job offer from Beaumont Health Systems to where he's going in and working on different forms of, you know, mechanical stuff and whatever, and not wind and turbine and whatever. But it pays extremely well, and it's a great job and whatever. So
and the way they teach it is they obviously teach you what you would have to know to go work on these aircraft, but the general knowledge is there, so you can, you know, take a good portion of it and apply it to different fields. It doesn't have to be aviation related. So, shit, where was I?
You were talking about what you were doing and when you didn't have any existential plans and whatever, and then you went this way.
Yes. So they come in, they tell us all about it, and I'm just like, all right, well, I guess it's worth a shot, right? I don't really have better plans to do. So here we are, starting out the year, after all the entry shit gets resolved and whatnot. So, you know, you're put into this scenario. Anybody who's ever gone to school can, I'm sure, relate to this, where you throw a bunch of people into a room, nobody knows anyone in there, they don't even know each other's names, and then you put this person at the front of the room, and they do their thing, they're just doing their job, which is trying to teach you guys, but you don't even know the fucking guy next to you, and you're just trying to figure out where everybody fits in. And I sort of guess that's the downfall of my generation, especially when you catch them right out of like high school or whatever, because that was the age group most of us were. Is their experience with society is a bunch of other people their age with clear divisions in the clear separate groups, like cliques, I guess you could call them. You know, you got your jocks, you got your nerds, I guess, and the guys who go out, you know, expand on the mind. These guys expanding on the body, fucking, you know, tackle each other, whatever it is. And it's just different interests. It's just different interests that divide each other. But still, what everybody's looking for is, where are my people at? Coming into this new situation, nobody knows. So obviously, it's just dead silence throughout the whole thing. And nobody really talks to each other. Well, as time passes, people start talking, people will start associating with one another. You start to figure people out. And so the people sitting in the back or whatever, the little more shy ones, they can kind of get a feel for who everybody is and sort of try to worm their way into conversations and eventually, I guess, make friends. Well, that was sort of my situation. Coming out, yeah, I'm trying to get everybody figured out, and, well, my mission was to just go in, get my shit done, and not dick around because I'm sick and tired of getting thrown into stuff I don't want to be involved in. So, you know, let's just focus on A and B and cut out all the extra shit, right? Well, I got, my little group of guys ended up being people much like me. And on the surface, I sort of understand how people think of me. I'm an asshole, if you will. I mean, you know it well enough, some of the people I pick on, but it's all in good fun to me. But and believe it or not, I'm actually a pretty nice guy once you get to know me. And I know everybody will try to say that, but honestly, I am. But it doesn't seem so on the surface, and I think that's the trouble of most of it. Because this is how I felt about them. Like, wow, these guys are fucking assholes. But once I got to know them, wow, they're a lot like me. So I guess let's get the story moving along. I won't use any names, just, you know.
Yeah, no, just talking and whatever.
Make it a little smoother draw. The guy I ended up meeting, he was a lot like me. And wow, this is already starting off like a homosexual story. So
well, look, no judgment zone, buddy.
Hey, and yeah, it's not going to get any better with what I'm about to say. So, you know, we start building a pretty decent friendship. I guess the first thing we really related on was, you know, bass heads. You know, getting into like subwoofers and whatnot, nice sound systems. Well, he had a pretty decent one set up in his truck, and we found ourselves out just hanging around, playing different kinds of music, whatnot. Just, you know, bumping in the parking lot, just trying to piss everybody around us off. And you know, eventually this leads into talking about other stuff, you know, where we came from, our personal experiences, whatnot. And it turns out we got a lot in common. So, you know, we start hanging out more and shit. Oftentimes we would find ourselves just sitting in the parking lot until fucking 2, 3 in the morning.
This sounds a lot like a dating scenario. It sounds like the
I know. I told you it's not going to get any better. But
well, no. We'll think about it though. Even like friendships, right?
Yeah.
Friendships, whether it be same sex or you know, and no, you can't be friends with the opposite sex. I don't care what they say. Harry met Sally, all the bullshit. If you're hanging out with a chick that long or whatever, generally
something's
you want to bang them, right?
Yeah.
And in this day and age, you don't know if your buddy that you're hanging out with, whatever, like, ah, boy, I really hope he doesn't want to bang me. Right?
I don't know. Maybe he was hoping I was gay the entire time.
You have the hair. You have the hair. You have the long
Hey,
hair.
let's not go there.
But it is weird because I mean, think about it. Relationship at a core, whether it be you know male female, whether it be male male, whether it be whatever. But in our scenario, heterosexual males, when you're friends with an individual, it's funny. I had a buddy of mine go, dude, why do I need to be with a chick? I've got a dog for affection, right? I can be affectionate with my dog and lay there and cuddle and pet. And, oh, I love you, buddy, right? I can show affection and emotion towards my animal.
But also, it's kind of frowned upon if you stick a finger in their butt.
Well, yeah, it's nice. but you get your companionship from your friends, right? Because that's technically what a friend relationship is companionship. Like, hey, what are you doing, right? Let's go do something. I want to do something.
Yeah.
You get somebody who's like-minded, likes to do the same stuff. Let's go to this concert or let's go to this or whatever. So that's kind of how the relationships, any way you look at them,
stem
are
from.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
So I just tried to make it a little less, you know,
little less homosexual.
Go ahead. But it sound. I was gonna start playing weird music and shit, man. I was.
Hey, if you start playing Magic Mike in the background, I'm not sure if I can stay here.
All right, and I'm going to give you the what I used to tell. There used to be a thing on Channel 20 and Channel 50 back in the day where it was like Channel 20, straight to the point, less words, more point. Where are we going with the crazy roommate? You got a lot of buildup. Seriously, if your buddy doesn't attempt to bang you in this story or whatever, everyone listening is going to be let down.
I was building into a funny scenario, but yeah, I will try to speed it along.
Yeah, let's get in there.
Anyway, so we would find ourselves just talking until like fucking 2, 3 in the morning, right? Well, one particular scenario where this same thing happened.
Boy, you got Siri fucking doing your whole thing. Stop it. This is why I don't use you. Fucking horrible fucking phone. Anyways, I don't know where that happened. You said something, but Siri went haywire.
Whatever. Right. Anyway.
So late night, you and your buddy talking. Go ahead. Go ahead there, Sassy.
Anyway, so we had the cops roll up on us because it's middle of the night, car running in the middle of a parking lot. They want to figure out what's going on. So they
go ahead. No. This is a great story. I'm definitely getting to know more and more about you, Sam. I'm completely okay. Look, if this is the way you need to tell me what you really feel and what I'm
not. If I was gonna come out to you, you think I would do it publicly?
Who knows with your generation? I don't know.
I am wearing a purple shirt.
There you go.
Hey, right. Anyway, they roll up. They knock on the window. They're like, hey, fucking what's going on? My buddy, fucking rolls down the window. He's like, hey, we're just good friends. We're classmates. We got out of class just now. Well, actually, like...
Got a lot of similar interests. Go ahead.
You're just going to keep beating the dead horse, aren't you?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're fucking up the story. You're trying to blame me for it being bad.
No. I didn't say bad. See, look, don't be judgmental on your own story.
Wow.
You gotta get there. Go ahead.
Well, anyway, so he's asking him what's going on, and I'm just kind of gazing around the car because he's not talking to me. And then I look over through my window.
Gazing around the car. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just pointing out a couple words used. Go right ahead.
So I glance to my right, and there's another cop sitting right there. It's like, oh, hey. And that was my exact reaction. I guarantee you it was. Roll down the window. I was like, hey, what's going on? He's like, hey. And he's just real quiet the entire time. Didn't say a word to me. So I'm like, all right, just focus attention over here at this other guy. Well, one thing led to another. He's like looking around the car with his big-ass flashlight, being the stereotypical cop.
10 out of 12. I got my eye on the fucking long-haired hippie. I've got him covered. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I think they saw the ponytail. That's why they're looking around so much.
Yeah.
And then he, spies the summer sausage on the dash. Don't take any more implications from that one. Don't you dare.
Mum's the word. Go ahead. Go ahead, pal.
And he jumps a little bit, like, and the way we described the situation was, holy shit, he just jumped like there was a dangerous weapon sitting on the dash. It's fucking summer sausage. You need to calm down there, boy.
You're making it very, very hard not to say stuff about this, but go ahead.
I'm trying at this
Two dudes in a parking lot at 3 in the morning having deep conversation, condensation building on their summer sausage on the dash, longing looks at each other's eyes.
All right, let's move away from the truck scenario, and so this...
Hey, you're the one. I told you to speed it up. If not, I'm going to start saying weird shit. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, you need to stop.
Don't. You should have left out the summer sausage. But go ahead. You could have put anything else in there.
The cop jumping at a summer sausage sitting on the dash.
There was a black dildo sitting on the dash, and he seemed startled, and I wonder why. You know, the black dildo is frightening.
I mean, I get it. If you could get the implication, maybe that's what the cop was thinking.
I think so. God darn it. These damn new people. Okay.
With their
summer sausages and funny hairdos.
Anyway, and yeah, it gets progressively worse. So let's cut out a few details on how it ended up at this situation. But what it had come to was the guy lived in Davison at the time, so he's driving. Why are you smirking?
Come on, man. I can't help it.
The guy lived in Davison, so he's driving, I don't remember exactly how far it is, but he's driving hours upon hours a day just to get to class, right?
Yep. Yeah, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, and he drives the Silverado, so it's not like it's the best on gas mileage, so he's broke it down for me, and he's like, dude, I'm spending like $1,200 plus a month just on gas. I'm like, dude, how the fuck are you paying for that shit? How are you dealing with that? Well, you know,
been hanging out with dudes in parking lots at 3 in the morning, hoping to turn a buck. Go ahead.
Hey,
this is good. Hey, this is a good trick. All right, so let me get the gist of this, right? Because I've heard a story or two, and I've been known to tell one. So you guys talk and whatever, and the cops somehow don't arrest you. Just get weird.
We're away from the truck. You told me to move on, and you're bringing it back.
They take a bite of the summer sausage. You go, it's good summer sausage. Whatever, smells like shit. No pun intended. And then whatever. And then down the road they go. So yeah, so you guys do the we were in school together, we worked together, commute, whatever, and you end up moving in. And yeah, you think you have a bunch of cool things in common. He seems like a decent human being until you move in with the individual. Eh?
Exactly.
All right.
And it was.
I would have done your whole story there and said summer sausage smells like doo doo. Cops.
Okay, but you're not telling the story.
I know.
Enough of you.
Okay.
And your shenanigans.
All right.
Anyway, so a little more funny snippets at the front of this portion of it. We get in and stereotypical college scenario. We didn't really think the whole process out. We're kind of like financially unstable, if you will. So we're doing the whole stereotypical make fucking ramen noodles, throw a little ground beef in there. We're eating it out of a fucking pan lid. It was the funniest scenario because we didn't buy plates. But anyway, so, things progress as they will. You get to learn each other a little bit better. God, why would I?
Yeah, no, getting to learn a man,
Maybe I should just let you talk. Maybe I should just let you talk.
Okay. Well, no, it's great.
See, you can't even.
Oh, dude, I can hold it together. I'm a fucking professional. Goddamn fucking Boy Scout.
That's questionable.
Yeah, no, that's preaching to the choir. Well, with roommate scenarios and whatever, right? Okay, so when we were talking, yesterday, and I stopped and went, I had a buddy of mine, right? Moved into a house. Now, I have a dog, right? You're a cat guy. You have cats, right?
I have a cat.
You have a cat. Dude with cat.
Yeah,
ponytail,
my whole
sausage.
Situation doesn't look any better.
Okay.
Get it.
No. Okay. So I'm gonna keep playing. I'm gonna keep playing off of that. It's gonna keep coming up. It's ridiculous. But my buddy, I end up instead of getting an apartment and whatever, I end up getting a house because I've got a dog, right?
Right.
And for whatever reason, Michigan is not nearly as pet friendly if you have a dog over like 7 pounds, which is a cat. Right? Which is a cat who
doesn't... Or an overgrown rat.
Who doesn't use a fucking litter box, right? It's a fucking, he needs to go outside. We'll call it a dog, right? So I've got a 75, 80-pound black lab Doberman, right?
Yeah.
Dog is Jesse James. He's awesome. He was a celebrity. He was on, the Channel 4. They have the dog of the week, and my buddy got him and couldn't take care of him. And I went over there, and they went, get in your cage. And I was like, keep talking shit to this dog. I'm going to shove you in the cage, right?
Sounds kinky.
Yeah, well, in a very violent way too. It wasn't very loving, or just get in the cage.
You gonna sit there and poke him with a stick too?
Yeah, well, I just don't like anyone like, dude, put a dog in a cage.
Summer sausage.
Well, I don't generally have them readily available on my dashboard 3 in the morning with my buddy in a parking lot, but so yeah, I end up taking the dog, right? So now I'm like, and I just broke up with my girlfriend, whatever, and I'm going to get my own place, right? Screw everyone, I've got my dog, I'm going to get an apartment, whatever. I can't find an apartment, and they know he's part Doberman. Why? Because he looks like a fucking pure black Doberman. And I'm like, oh, he's a lab, and they're like, it's a fucking very dark-skinned Doberman. So I'm like, balls. So I go, somebody went, rent a house. Never had a house of my own at that time, right? It was apartment living. So I was like, okay, a house. The only one I can find, and the only one that's dog-friendly, is this, we called it the Love Shack, right? It was built in like 1941, had radiator heat. Dude, it was the pine trees, and the only good thing is it had a huge yard and whatever, right? So it had pine trees, and these trees that were so huge that the sun couldn't ever hit the house, right? Never hit the house. So the grass didn't grow. The soil turned into like silt. Like, shuffleboard where you put the sand on it and you slide or whatever. Mm-hmm. Or like country dance floors where they put the thing and you boot, scoot, and boogie or whatever, right? I lived in Texas for a while, you fucking... So as I get this house and I'm like, oh, dude, you walk in the house, the hardwood floors, you could slide. You could walk in and go, woo! Then you would slide like halfway across the house. There was no way to keep it clean. My girlfriend at the time called it a hovel, right? She was like, that is a hovel. Like Hansel and Gretel house and shit, and like the movies this is worse. Doesn't matter. Got my dog, leave me alone. There's a reason I don't mess with you anymore, right?
Right.
Leave me, my hovel, and my dog alone. Well, one of my buddies is in need of a house or whatever, and he's like, hey, man, I'll move in and whatever. And I went, bill splitter, right? Somebody to split the bills. Seemed like a decent dude. But he began to, there was a movie called Single White Female, where chick had put out an ad and had a roommate move in. The roommate would like steal her glasses, start dressing like her, get the same haircut. This dude single white femaled me. He single white femaled me. I'm like, people were like, hey, man, dude, I saw yesterday, and dude, did he have your glasses on? And I went, yeah, I don't know, because I had contacts. Sometimes I would wear my glasses. Right? Got a haircut like mine. I was going to the gym. He started going to the gym. This and that. Well, I'd say things. He'd begin to say things like me and whatever, right? And people brought it to my attention. I went, I don't know. Maybe he's not socially, well-rounded and whatever. And Jake's a social guy. Maybe he wants to be more like the Jakey, right? That's fine. It's whatever. And then it started creeping me out a little bit. So he was an interesting tripped out dude. Moves in, it got a little weird, right? Again, not clean. He's the one that I took the pots and pans and I threw him out behind the.
Oh, this one.
They would build up, and I was like, bro, you need to do your dishes and whatever. And if I went to go like rinse out a coffee cup, right? Just rinse out a coffee cup, and I couldn't, or there's smell coming from the pots and pans that he made mac and cheese. I gave him enough warning, and then I just took his stuff and went out and threw it behind the garage. Threw it. I mean, you had to walk like 15, 20 feet. And threw it, and it was kind of like a wildernessy backyard that we had, so I didn't care.
Which is, kind of ironic, because he wanted to be like you, but, doesn't pick up the important parts of doing his fucking dishes.
Yeah, right. And maybe he's clean now. Maybe he saw the error of his ways. I don't know. Well, and at this time, right, we didn't have super internet porn and all this stuff and whatever, right? And dating it. It was a while ago. So, as a guy, and you just broke up with your girlfriend, and you got a dog in a shitty house, sometimes you have to shuck the old corn, right? You gotta pull on yourself a time or two, right?
You do.
So, and I'm a extremely sexually fucking frustrated dude in general. Even if I have a chick, half of them are like, why do you want to have sex like 3 times a day? I'm like, dude, if it fits into the schedule, morning, noon, and night, dude, that's perfect. You've got a certain amount of time to regain your oomph and whatever. So I'm sitting around the house, and I broke up with the girl, right? And I'm like, so I'm not getting as much, shenanigan time as I want. And I'm like, balls, I really don't have any porn, or I've like literally watched every DVD porn that I could watch. Like I know what's gonna happen, right? It's anticlimactic. It's like,
no pun intended.
Yeah, right. So I'm like, this is stupid, whatever. And I was like, it's a creep. Go in there, and I'm rummaging around. I'm like, I know this fucker's got weird porn and creepy stuff, right? I'm like, and I look, and I'm like, aha, I found a secret porn stash, right? Now, you never know what you're going to find when you dig that deep into someone's, like, Pandora's box of shit, right? Like, who knows what I could have found. I thought better of it once I did, but once I did, I was like...
My best advice to you see a summer sausage on the cover, don't watch it.
No. And these were very misleading because, and some of them were that, or they were just in, like, sleeves and didn't have whatever. So I take, and I'm like, So I'm gonna have a time, right? I know this jerk box is at work and whatever, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch the whatever, right? So I get prepared, get back in my lazy boy, break out the
tissues and the
no, it wasn't even a tissue, man. I had a cloth, bro.
A cloth.
You know, like old men who have hankies and whatever, and you go, oh my God, you pull that out, you blow your nose, and you wash it and do it again. That's gross. I'm not a hanky dude, right? But when it came to the cum towel, right, or the jizz towel, I began to use the towel, right? Because sometimes you too much
it can be
goes
seen
through.
as high class as long as it's not too ratty of a towel.
That's true. Like having your initials embroidered into it. You know what I mean? Like having an embroidered jizz rag.
CT
Yeah.
embroidered on it for cum towel.
But so yeah, I was like okay, blah blah blah. I put it in and I'm like and it's boom boom boom. It's got the creepy porn music, chick and whatever. And the dude's like look at you, and I'm like you're gonna put it to her butt good, right? Like get in there, fella. Well, next thing I know, it's normal and things are going around and whatever. And I'm like, and then, dude, another chick walks in with a strap on.
Oh,
and takes
shit.
Like trying to, and I went, and I couldn't watch. It's one of those, no, what's happening? No. Like you're turning your head and you're like, stop it.
Instant boner repellent.
Dude, seriously, I'm talking, yoing, where this went away. Oh my God, that's not cool. What happened? So I freaked out, right? And I was like, no. I was like this. So I was like, oh my God, right? I don't know what to do. So I think I called one of my buddies, right? And I was like, dude, I don't even know why I'm telling you this, but
I need to
should
crank it.
Should I dig it? No, at that point it was done. It was done. When I saw that, I was like, no, Jakey doesn't, I'm ticklish back there. I would never, I don't care. Pamela Anderson was like, look, we can do this.
How do you know? Have you?
Oh, you don't believe me? I know. No, I've had the girlfriends who are like, oh, neatly, and I'm like, no, yeah, no. As I, water starts shooting out of my ears, and I'm like, no, leave me alone. That is no bad news, or whatever. And there is a story of how I actually found out. There's actually multiple
anal
stories.
adventures.
Yeah. Did I tell you about the Asian bathhouse with the chick with the reverse karate shop and whatever, and then she, but yeah. So I do this, and I'm like, or no. I put it all away, right? And I put it all away, and I was like, oh my God, please let him not know I know this, right? Like, oh my God, I don't even know why you had this conversation. Because still, I was a creep because I went into the closet and went and pulled out, and I knew he had porn stash, and I grabbed it. I just needed to rub one out. I was having a rough day. So now I'm freaked out. So I tell one of my buddies, right? Like I'm sitting, I'm like, guess what? This happened, or whatever. As I'm telling him, he's like, no. He was like, so what about the other stuff? Was it all weird? Did it get weirder? And I went, I didn't go any further. I saw that. It freaked me out. And I went, let me put this back like it was tainted, or, like demons would come out of it with, strap-on dildos or whatever. I was expecting to have weird dreams where ghosts were running around with dangly, dildo ladies. And I was like, no, I can't deal with it. And he was like, dude, you got to know what's on the other stuff. So my buddy came over and was like, dude, let's put it in. If it gets weird, we flip it. So we were trying to find out if it was weirder. And it got weirder. And I don't remember. I think I've got a mental block. But it was it was weirder. And it had a theme of chicks with whatever doing. Now, I don't know if he took that or if that was just some weird thing in his mind that he really dug or whatever. But that's one of those things. You don't know what anyone's weird shit is, right? You could fucking... That's why everyone has that pact with a buddy of theirs, like a close friend. Like, look, dude, if I die in a car accident tonight, get to my house in the morning, go in my bottom right drawer, whatever, take that shit out and burn it. Don't even look and see what's in there. Dude, is there any money or whatever? Don't do it. Just burn it. You don't want to know what's in there. And
shit, if I had anything like that at that point, you know what? Fuck it. I'm dead. I don't care.
Yeah. But. No, it is a weird thing. But yeah, if you'd like to know how I found out about tickle fever, right? How don't do X, Y, and Z. My ex and I, we were together for like 6 years, right? So, and this is early 20s shenanigans, right? So you're like, you're trying to do everything, right? So it's not like having sex in your car anymore or doing like, the sneaky get a hotel room. I've got an apartment. She's like basically living with me. We're cranking quite a bit, right? I've got a lot of time to make up for. Red hair, freckles, whatever. Dude, when everybody else was getting lucky, I was lucky to get lucky, right? So I was a couple steps out of lucky. So I had to work really hard. I had to develop try and be funny and cheeky and talk a lot and whatever, because I'm not a fucking extremely handsome dude, right? Played football, lifted weights, because all the fucking Revenge of the Nerd movies told me, those guys with leather jackets get girlfriends, right? And you get one, right? And sometimes she can be a cunt. Right? So it doesn't always work out that way. I'd like to, at that age, I was like, I want a Johnny Appleseed and go, touch
give everybody
everything. Yeah, but it wasn't that easy. It was much easier for the better looking dudes. So we're there and whatever, and I get adventurous, right? I do this, I try and play with her behind, right? And let me try and do the,
And of course, people that age, you do one thing, and if it be experimental, trying to figure out what they like, they think it's okay to try it on you. Me, I got into it, doing the dirty with a chick one night, and I got into, biting a little bit, and, ended up kind of nibbling on her nipple a little bit. Well, she took that as, well, shit. Maybe that's what he's into. Full on just fucking chomps. I've never hit a woman. Never. But goddamn. In this scenario,
you were close?
I was very close. I just straight, fist clench, just midway through the swing, just, opened my hand, shoved her away, no, this cannot happen again. Just no. I was even bleeding a little bit. If that tells you how hard she bit down, I'm like, no bueno.
Yeah, no, that's and people think it's it's supposed to be reciprocated, right? If you do this, you do this. Sometimes it works, but there is this thing, right? You can talk and maybe ask somebody, right?
Yeah.
Now get this. It's a special I think it was Valentine's Day. I did something really kick ass for Valentine's Day, and it fell on a Friday or something, right? So this is Saturday or Sunday. And she was like, "Oh, you got a hotel room and flowers and candles," and she liked her feet rubbed, so I got her the little foot rub stuff, gave her a foot rub, and made her sit in there and soak in the tub with this and candles, and gave her the foot rub and whatever. I was trying to be all, romantic and do nice stuff for her, and she immediately was like, "Dude, this is awesome. Rose petals in a tub. Let's go hop in the bed and crank." And I was like, "No, I forced her to." Oh, jeez. I forced her to, sit there, take the tub, do whatever, do all this stuff, and, so we're like, okay, cool. Well, we get out, we, have a good night and whatever. It's a day or two after, and she, and she was like, let's just stay in the house and have sex all day and whatever. And I was like, you had me at hello, right? So we did, and she was like, well, doesn't your friend smoke, weed and whatever? And I didn't really smoke the weed, neither did she. She was like, oh, maybe we smoke the weed. So we smoked the weed, right? Maybe a quarter of whatever. We're giggling, watching stupid, I think Happy Gilmore or something. We're laying in bed. So we crank, we do whatever, and she's like, look. She was like, next time we do or whatever, she was like, tell me when you're gonna, you're gonna make the sticky. And just tell me. And I was like, okay. So she's on top and she's riding like a champ and whatever. And we're going at it. It's round two, boom, 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 boom. She's like, she was like, don't forget to tell me whatever. Right? And I like a little bit of sassy talk when we're doing whatever. And I'm like, I don't know what she's up to. Fairly certain she's going to hop off and boom, boom, boom. She's going to, take it. Right. Yeah. Like I said, this was a long time ago. Right. So the amount of you're going to do that. That's neat. You're such a special girl. Right. Yeah. Now it's if you don't do that, the first date, who are you? They don't make girls like you anymore. So she's like, oh, do this and this. And she was like, okay, tell me. And I was like, I kind of tapped her on the side. And when I was like, oh, yep, about to happen. So she hops off, boom, drops down. And right when I'm like, I was like, oh, tap her on the side. I'm in a MMA match, right? I'm like, oh, I'm about to. And she went, boom. I see her, she looks at me in the eye and goes and pulls out just enough to and goes whoop and sticks a finger in my eye. Now mind you, my eyes went as large as they possibly could, and I was like, Arr! Now mind you, I think I saw blue lights shoot out of my from my toes. Couldn't, dude, whole body convulse, just stroked out, what's happening? So I'm like, yoy, and whatever, and I'm like, zerk, eyes, blue lights, whoo, shoot off. Now, mind you, we were a little high, and we never got high, right? So this is happening when you're feeling weird, whatever's happening, and I'm like, I can't move. I'm like, and I'm making a mess all over the place, and she's and whatever, and she's like, oh, and as I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, and I'm convulsing and fucking flipping out, which I think was the first time I actually had a actual man orgasm, right? Because we ejaculate, right? It feels fucking wonderful, and I think after a while you can combine the two, and it's fine. All I know is that was some out of body experience or whatever. So I'm laying there, and she was like, she's laying next to me. She was like, so how was it? How did that feel? Whatever. And I went,
it was fucking horrible.
I was like, look, don't ever do that shit again. Right? And I'm still kind of having involuntary, I was like, don't ever do that shit again. I don't know what in the fuck made you think. You know, she obviously talked to one of her girlfriends, like, oh, do this and that at Reddit and Cosmo or whatever. And she was like, just do this and that and you'll, and I went, no. I was like, don't ever do it again. I was like, mind you, that was probably, I've never felt like that in my life. I think I saw blue light shoot out of my feet. I don't even know what that was and whatever. And she's like, well, that's good, right? And I was like, dude, you do that again, I will punch you like a man. I will punch you directly in the face as soon as I can stop convulsing. I was like, you need to ask a motherfucker before you do some stuff like that. That's not, if I ever said, like, oh, it's this fantasy of mine or whatever, it was kind of rapey. I don't like it. It was not cool and whatever. So
you have been penetrated.
So that happened, right? And I was like, don't you ever and whatever, right? And of course, joking and whatever, like, you know, as the years went on and, oh, bro, and we'd be doing stuff and whatever, and she'd, and I was like, and she was like, I'm just kidding, whatever. I was like, bitch, I will punch you. Like, this is not a time for jokes. You deal with the penis, right? So we did this more, you know, like whatever, you know, her and I, right? So no other shenanigans with that. Well, then I went to and was dealing with a bathhouse, right? And oh, we'll give you a bath and do, you know, a massage and whatever, right? So as I'm, you know, I'm like, okay, so I've never had another issue with this. Years have gone by. Thought it was over, right? I'm there, and they give you they wash you, you know, like wash you like a baby at a bathhouse and whatever. And they take you in, give you a massage, walk on your back, do whatever. Well, this lady, it was weird. As she's giving me the thing in Asian, right? Like ding 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 ding. No, straight up Asian. So as she's doing whatever, they wash you, and and as she washes them, she gives me like a reverse karate chop, like my buttocks. They wash everything, bro. They're like from your helmet, they get in a neck roll and whatever. I mean, you are as clean as you could possibly be. Like
better than when you shower.
Better than, yeah, no, dude, 1,000 times, dude. I don't know how they do it. It's an art form, and it's very soothing and relaxing.
Probably because they have such tiny hands. They can get all the nook and crannies.
Well, this one took a tiny hand and went, oh, as she was washing, and she, oh, blah, 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 and I can't, no English, right? It's, you know, oh, and maybe like a broken word of English, and then back to, oh, right? Well, as she's doing whatever, and she's washing and this and that, and she goes, you know, and I feel like a wash up the butt crack, right? Okay, you're getting, you know, doing a cleanse, right? You're washing everything. She started like a saw, like, and I kind of look back and I'm like, hey, and she, oh, has that my ding ding ding, and I'm like, you're paying a lot of attention. Like I haven't made a boo boo or anything today. Like that area ain't that rough. Like, be cool. And she, oh, is that you like? And I heard like you like, and I was like, no, like no. Right? You're not. There's no reason for you to be anywhere around there, right? Bad things happen there. You know, it's a very ticklish area. Leave me alone. So, oh, bang, 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 and then they take you out. And you stand there, and they put a towel around you. They towel you. If you try and grab the towel and wipe yourself off, they smack you. They dry like every inch of your body. And I was like, oh, this is neat. Not sexual at all. Just like I feel like I'm going to a pet groomer and I'm a pet, right? Like I'm being fucking super cleansed.
That's slightly disturbing, Jake.
Well, I don't know what it's a car wash. It's not a car wash because it's not a person washing the car wash. I don't even think people who do hand car washes do anything, you know, as
well. I mean, the whole you putting somebody in a cage makes a little bit more sense now.
Okay, yeah, it could be. Yeah, but there was, again, not sexual. I was mad at him when I was shoved him in a cage. I'm more like a warden, or more like a German.
I don't know. I was thinking, male version of a dominatrix.
Yeah. No, but see, there was no thing with it. There's no external, there's no way to extrapolate the sexual shenanigans with it. It'd be different. It was like, oh, put your cage and I'm going to jerk off on you or something. That'd be different.
Well,
that's where it stopped.
Tend to like to come on things. So it wouldn't surprise me.
I do. So after that, she goes in and massage, right? She's massaging the back and blah, 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 and this, and okay. And she's massaging and, and trying to have broken English, random talk and dee. Well, as she's, massaging the legs and going further up the body and whatever, dude, again, rapey as balls, right? Gets, rubs the gluteus maximus. That would be the buttocks for you, right? They used big words earlier, And she's rubbing and goes, rum, 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 and gets to that point and went and, spread my buttocks like a fucking, I don't know what you would do, but went, and buried her tongue like a fucking, like a missile. Doing. Right. And I'm like, oh, and I don't know what to do. And I'm like, whoa. So I look behind me, and all I see are little eyes, above my ass cheeks, right? So all I see are eyes like this, and eyes in a very oh, you like they were, oh, this is good for you. And I'm like, no. And I'm afraid I'm gonna clinch. and like I'm gonna like take her tongue in my anus, right? And I'm gonna have to like walk out with her like little legs sticking out of the back, like, hey, thanks for the massage. I'm really creeped the fuck out. And I was freaked out. And I was like, oh, and I'm like, no, what do you? And I can't like slap her, right? I'm not a nimble dude. I fucking, she's back there. She's, and just eyes over my butt. That's all I remember seeing, like this. And I was like, oh, dude, creep me out, freak me out. I'm like, dude, I gotta get out of here, whatever, right? There may be a little bit more to the story, but so I go ahead and leave, and do whatever, and I get home. I call one of my buddies, and I'm like, hey. He's like, what's going on? He's like, nothing. What's happening? I went, dude, bro, I got something to tell you, dude. I did this and that. Of course, I call the exact wrong people. Or you don't know enough about your friends until you have conversations like this. Dude, bro, that's awesome. I've been trying to get my chick to toss my salad for years, bro. I love it. And I'm like, no. And I don't want you to use the term and the toss your salad. I was like, no. And he was like, bro, I'd pay good money for that. I was like, well, here's the address for a massage. She will dine on that like it's a fucking discount diners club.
I
like,
guess that was the last time you went there, right?
Yeah, no, I was like, what? Who is this? And there ain't nobody to speak to. Everybody. I just wanted a chick to walk on my back, wash me like a baby, right? Go then fucking get on my way, right? And I got fucking tongue banged by a Asian masseuse, whatever. And yeah, put her tongue in my buttocks.
That's disturbing.
It's disturbing. After that, I've had zero ass play, like zero. Other than like,
can't say anything like that has ever happened to me, and I'm so glad I can say that.
Yeah, you're young. Enjoy Florida. I made a couple calls. You see the guy with the knit cap and whatever.
So you're the one I've been warned about.
Probably your dad listened to this and was like, okay, I'm gonna have to talk to you after every time you talk to this Yahoo and whatever, because he seems like a damn horrible individual. But we are well over time, and we're gonna have to do a little editing because we did throw something out there or whatever. But wow, that was random. That was 56 minutes of shenanigans. So
wow.
So what did we learn today? You and your roommates are very close.
Enjoy summer sausage, and
one of my roommates,
you've been tongue banged,
may have liked the summer sausage also. And yes, I've had a tongue 3/4 inch deep inside of my anus. I've been invaded, space invader. But all right, that'll conclude for for this segment. I know we got a little bit out of round and crazy and whatever, but I'm glad. I feel cleansed. Not like I was cleansed at the bathhouse or whatever, but cleansed. Oh, it feels good. Actually, I need to fart, which is crazy.
That's good to know.
But other than that, yeah. So this is the Bachelor Pad, and we will probably be talking to this Yahoo in about a week or so when you get back from Florida.
We'll see what kind of shenanigans I've been up
to.
Dude,
if you see like Asian massage parlor, please go in and I mean it doesn't.
Why?
Like,
just so you're not the only one.
So I'm not the only one. So maybe we could go. It's creepy, right? No, I kind of like it. It's weird. It's better than the nipple biting.
Thanks.
But on that note, we're gonna call it a wrap. I got stuff to do. It's 10:48. All right. Goodbye, world.
Later.